Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 41 of a very late part of Tyranny. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
People hold up here in the old walls? Do they think the Bane kinder than the chorus?
I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't my intention for this to be late, but I just haven't been able to get myself to push myself today. So let's get a focus on the part. Fatebinder, welcome. Fatebinder, good day to you. The young man greets you with a smile as distant shouts reverberate throughout the area, steadily growing in volume. As you might have observed, your presence comes as a bit of a surprise. It is an unexpected pleasure, to receive an esteemed servant of the court. He bows stiffly, revealing a row of multi-shaped quills along his back. Sage Lantry, what are you doing here?
I could ask the very same of you. Taking shelter in the old walls, that takes nerves of iron, or wits of stone.
To squat in the old walls? It is a wonder the Bane have not rewarded their hubris with a painful death.
Well, this is unexpected. Though I'm glad to see you alive, my young friend. I'm not here to reminisce. I'm with the Fatebinder now, so I'll need to insist that you start explaining whatever it is you're doing here.
I am Scribe Mel, the Villium Citadel, formerly of, I suppose I should say. You aren't here to, Kyros doesn't have another edict in store for us, does he? He taps on a quill against his thigh, its feather plume fluttering nervously in return. I figure if that was the case, I'd be waist deep in lava as we speak. The sage concludes with a half-hearted chuckle that tapers into terrified silence. I'm gonna glare silently. Welcome to the Bastard's Wound, or the Wound just for short. This place is home to several score of men and beasts of all ages. We've been carving it out to life here for a few years now, and we're not dead yet. He cracks a smile, pumping his hands in a feigned victory strut. Why are you all here? Entry into the old walls is forbidden. Of course. I can see why you things might appear that way. He stammers, running his hand clumsily over the scrolls along his bandolier. He snatches one of it from its loop and taps it nervously. If you look at this drawing of the area, we are by way of several fathom below the old walls you see, rising up. So, what's to say we're in the old walls, or really just underground? Other than for Fatebinder, of course. I merely mean to suggest that there's some potential ambiguity as to whether we've really done anything wrong. Yeah, I'm not here to condemn this settlement yet. Thank you, Fatebinder. I merely say that this is an unusual place and its legal standing is somewhat unclear. We would never knowingly violate Kyros' law, is what I mean. We appreciate your generosity, Fatebinder. It's not really generosity. I just said I'm not going to fucking murder you all yet. I hope that you will come to appreciate the wound in time. No doubt you have many questions of us. I shall do my best to acquaint you with this outpost. Is there anything I can help you with? I received a message from a Sage L that directed me here. Know where I can find this person? Sage L, that could only mean Lexame contacted you, if I may, in regards of what? Answer my question. Master Lexame is sadly not amongst us. She vanished into the lower levels some time ago. She wasn't herself. He furrowed his brow in visible distress. Life here is rather complicated, and the old walls bless us with numerous mysteries. One of those is an end in sleeplessness, an affliction that drove her mad. Lexame? She's alive? So she survived the Edict of Fire? Lantry's eyes widen with surprise, and you hear the clinking of vials in his entire body, vials as his entire body trembles. Friend of yours? Sage Lexame and I go way back. She joined the school a year before I did, so we more or less ran with the paces together. If she's alive, why didn't she try to find me? Did you contact all the other sages you thought were alive? Right. We tried not to cloud the skies with missive birds. That would just give the enemy something to follow. Like me, she'd probably tried to avoid detection, not light a single fire. I want to remain silent now. Last I know, she went into the depths of the old walls. To me, that's a death sentence, especially if she's no longer able to work her magic. I'm so sorry. I wish you had stumbled upon her sooner. Maybe you could have connected her with her. Fuck me. Her mind was dwindling, and I know she was fixating on making sure everything she carried out of the Villiam Citadel was hidden and safe. She and I hid one such cache over by the farm. The others are, I presume, deeper in the old walls. Lexime knew as an old sage trick that conceals the stashes, making them fade from view unless another chronicler stands near them. When her magic began to fade, she made a rush to conceal things, but aside from the one stash in the farm, only she knows where the rest lay. Who is in charge here? Unfortunately, that's a matter of debate at the moment. For a while, two men in particular led this settlement. Tidecaster Wagstaff, who had been here the longest, and Forgebound Master Jaspos. They made it possible to survive here, but rarely see things eye to eye. Were the conditions here not so fragile, I'm certain we would have come to blows ages ago. There's also a beast woman, Reef Talon. Really quite a remarkable creature, actually. She held this place together and kept tempers at bay until fairly recently. She was as worthy as leader as I've seen in the Wound, but she's no longer with us, so the bickering between Jaspos and Wagstaff continues. Tell me about this Jaspos. Look for the broad-shouldered man with booming voice. He's always taking out his frustration on some poor rock or boulder, just there by his forge. He points northwest towards a plume of smoke rising above the surrounding walls. Jaspos and his two apprentices arrived some time after Wagstaff. I think we were worried he'd be a true loyalist and demand we surrender to Kyros. But he's taken a shine to this place and is trying to create his own little corner of Terratus. I think he likes the seclusion and being surrounded by a variety of rock types. He builds most of the bridges you see here. Some cisterns to filter water. He's a one-man work crew, and he knows it, unfortunately. He had more than a few supporters, particularly since he created those purifying aquifers. The water here has caused illness, and without his help, most of us wouldn't have enough clean water to drink. I'd like to know more about Wagstaff. He chuckles, his lips pressed together in a slight, knowing smile. Prickly old fellow. Wagstaff, one of the last Tidecasters in the tiers, I believe. His eyes widen in sudden. His kind were enemies to Kyros, true, but I'm certain he has no personal design against the Overlord Fatebinder. He's not one for pleasantries or charisma of any sort, but he is a master of his craft. He was the first to treat the Toxawalki in these old walls, and to date, it's the only cure that works. The Wound would be in bad shape without him. Give him some time and you might see beyond the gruff exterior. Just know that he prefers the solitude of his pool, so don't head over there unless you're willing to suffer his glare. A beast woman was in charge? That's a bit unusual. Indeed, but Reef Talon is the most unusual beast. She's a lot more focused, patient, and sensible than all the other beasts I've encountered. Anyway, Reef Talon was able to organize beasts and humans into effective patrols against the Bane. With her in charge of defense, casualties dropped. No Bane ever slipped into the common area, and disputes between beasts and all but disappeared. At a certain point, it seemed foolish to not have her in charge. We've had a few beastmen wander into our refuge, and I don't know how or why, but life here changes them. I don't know if it's the Bane or something in the water, something about the magics of this place. After a span or two of living with us, most beastmen just seem to become a bit more civilized, relaxed. Maybe speak to one of our beastmen, perhaps you'll agree. So what happened to Reef Talon? Reef Talon was our bulwark against not only the Bane, but death itself. She had a mystic gift, or so we thought. Her touch brought everyone, the wounded, the sick, the dying, back from the edge. But it changed them. The curse wasn't noticeable at first, but seemingly without fail, those who healed would slowly but surely stop sleeping. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mute my phone. Yeah, many of what's that? What the fuck? Ah, yeah. A minor malady at first, but a cumulative one. As days and weeks go on, they lose themselves. Depression, malice, paranoia, unending unto itself. My master Lexime was treated by Reef Talon, and in her case, she lost the ability to work magic. Between this and some disputes about whether it's proper for a beast woman to lead humans resulted in Reef Talon leaving the Wound, disappearing into the depths of the old walls. Many of the sleepless followed. The sleepless that have left haven't returned, so it's hard to be optimistic about any of this. That's an unusual power. Can't say I've ever heard of a beast woman mystic that does such things. I regret not being a better student of the beastman magics, but I concur. This is most unusual. What's stranger still, Reef Talon did not boast about being a mystic, and beasts are nothing if not boastful. I have a hypothesis. Perhaps she slew so many Bane that their sickly power have soaked into her very touch. He shrugs, letting out a long sigh. But it's just a speculation. All I know for sure is scores of lives were inadvertently ruined by her healing gift, and folks here have some complicated feelings toward Reef Talon. He pauses in thought, nervously rolling a quill between his fingers. None have recovered, unfortunately. The end result appears to be inevitable. Still, I can't help but wonder if Reef Talon could have corrected this. It's a shame, you should know, fatebinder, that there is a small group of people that have been treated by Reef Talon but haven't fully lost their grip on things. Jasper's apprentice, Isley, for one. It is, though, just a matter of time until the worst sets in. Let us speak of other matters. Farewell. Very well, fatebinder. Very well. Fatebinder, if you haven't done so, please speak with Jaspos or Wagstaff. The wound doesn't speak with a single voice, but these two come the closest to such a thing. As you turn to leave, you see Lantry lost in thought, rubbing his cerulean ink between his fingers and thumb. Rain silent. Well done. Onward. Lantry chews nervously on his ink-stained thumb. Well, first things first is let's loot everything. And let's talk to some of the merchants. Trespassers, shameless in their cowardice. They sicken me. Apparently I can't even trade yet. Fucking hell, do I have to... Last time I checked, you guys are all against the law, so you should trade with me just because I'm here. I mean, come on, fucking pricks. Aren't they Scarlet Furies? Interesting. Go try and talk to these guys. A weary-looking man observes you through dark, sunken eyes, nodding faintly as you approach. Fatebinder, greetings to you. Though unkempt and draped in his disheveled rags, he bows deeply in the style of Northern Tiersman nobility. You observe that his right arm is emasculated. Oh, fuck that, and frail, seemingly rooted in place. Rostam Lenik, son of the late Rostam Volus. I saw you in the Bastard City shortly after Tunon's arrival. We've come a long way from then, haven't we? He chuckles mirthlessly at the memory. You'll want to speak with Wagstaff or Jasper before you get too settled in. The former's down by the falls. The latter is in his forge up north of the wall. Fuck it, fine. I'll go talk to him. Where's this forge? I'm guessing that's the forge.
Usually you don't see beastmen living so closely with people. Not without a pen or someone getting torn limb from limb. Or both.
Sorry, I can't.
No, I want to know what this is. Alright, just using it sounds like the greatest idea.
You see what I see?
Ah, so this is the farm. I hate farms, but I like pigs. We had a real fat one back in Apex camp we called Stone Shield. Wonder where she is now. Huh. The fact that they've been able to grow food is interesting. Oh, it won't let me walk through their food. Come on, let me ruin their food by walking through it. Right. That's all we need to do there for now. God, these assholes really have gone quite against the Lord, Kyros, haven't they? They've really gone a bit too far. Looks like this settlement may have to be quelled. I must admit, certainly looking forward to that.
Sorry, I can't.
So I'm guessing Wagstaff's over there somewhere. Let's go over to the forge, because that's where I want. We're going to go sport for Jaspos, because... A broad-shouldered woman in disfavored remnant dangles against the nearby column, sharp suspended by her wrist. Though still garbed in the iron breastplate of a unit, she is without helmet and appears unusually at ease in their compromised position. A nearby settler engaged in friendly conversation with the disfavored, she peers down at him, listening with dutiful patience. The last lure hooked that lout trout just fine, but it took the whole thing downstream with it when the knot gave out. I wrapped the line several times, just like you said. You aren't fibbing me, are you, Sophia? What stays your hand, fatebinder? We must right this injustice immediately. I'm going to remain silent for a second. There is no time for your games of intimidation. Jasper's bronze should be strong enough for trout. No way the hook broke in its mouth. It probably didn't wrap the line around itself enough times. Remember what I said? It's at least 5 twists around before you loop and tie out off to the clinch. Just try it, it'll work. And if the fish bite, I expect you to save so much out for me. Ha, you would. I'll give that knot another try. It's too bad you can't just tie the damn things for us. What is this soldier's crime? Huh? Oh, it's hardly my place to say. Far be it from me to posture like I'm a leader or lawbringer. The sailor seems amused just to be consulted. Looks like you have company. Talk later, Sophia. The sailor turns to you, wearing an uncertain smile. Good hunting, then. As the sailor turns away, the bound soldier takes note of your approach. Tell us, Sophia, to find you in this cesspool of trespassers. He shakes his head. Worry not. We shall release you from this bondage at once. Wait, who the... Barrack? Is that you? No, please, leave me be. I'm sworn by duty to slay those fools, and sworn by honor to see to their safety. It is easier to have no choice in the matter. You'd rather stay up there? Even if you set me free, I'm too hungry to fight. It's the only thing I have the mind to do. The time will come when I can free myself, and I will grab the opportunity with both hands. She clenches her pale fingers into fists. I'd salute an officer of the court, but I'm somewhat indisposed at the moment. How did you end up on that column? A few span back, after Karen was finally declared rogue, the general wanted folks looking for what made Karen lose his sanity, or his loyalty, depending on your outlook. My unit played escort for a team of Earthshakers as they retraced Karen's journey through the tears. We were headed to the Gate of Judgment and came across a crevice which happened to be, well, she gestured upward to her head with her head. A middle-aged woman walked by while clutching a woven basket, giving Telesphia a wave. The disfigured soldier nods in return. Good day, Oko. She watches the passing sailor before returning attention to you. You seem to be on good terms with the locals. They're rather lovely folk, despite all of them being Kyros mocking scum deserving slow deaths. She attempts a limited expression of a shrug. Where was I? We paused to investigate only to find this nest, this hive. Trespassers living with beasts as equals. All of it an abomination. There was no choice but to put them to the sword. We fought well, but our advance fell apart, and then that coward O'Grien threw up his arms and surrendered. He broke ranks and left us exposed. If I hadn't been knocked senseless, I would have executed him myself. Woke up hoisted up on this wall, and I've been here ever since. So how are you still alive? Graven Ash protects. The General's Aegeus can sustain us through far more trying circumstances. She moves her shoulders in a dim approximation of a salute. My wrists are mangled, and I've been tired and hungry for longer than I can remember. But I'm far from death's door. The settlers feed me just enough to keep me going. She glances down at her dirt-encrusted armor. I'm sure I smell worse than a beastman dung heap, though. So why don't the settlers just execute you? They have, in a sense. The beastwoman leader of the local park ordered that I be strung up until dead. Guess you didn't understand the Ash's Aegis. So who's laughing now? Nobody wants to anger the resident Bane hunters, so the beast must have their way. I've had plenty of time to get acquainted with the locals while I perish. It's almost a pity they're all doomed in a Kyros. I must be going then. If you don't want me to release you, then that's you're shit out of luck then, aren't you? Forge bound in this hole. Surely they couldn't outfit the Legion from here. Not gonna lie, mate. Don't think they're actually, trying. Let's go talk to this asshole who seems to be defying Kyros' law. Master of napping. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it here and I'll do it in the next part. See you guys then.